Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Ken from 49, and in this video guys we're gonna talk about Time Rift Breaker, the previous round which was Amplify, and we're gonna check the last week's ranking. We're gonna check my reports for the previous round, and we're gonna talk about some builds that I used that made me rank 9th among all these people that were using Comply. So let's just get into it. Alright, so the Amplify Pass's weaknesses helped me a lot to get this rank, which was weak to Earth, Fire, and Water, which is mainly these three marches that I'm currently using, which is Earth, Fire, and Water. So the Rift Breaker passes are kind of different to the Spider because it doesn't have that one-shot skill that kills all the march that we usually counter by using absolute defense and lifelink, so it kind of redirect the damage back to the spider, which means we're gonna deal so much damage using lifelink and absolute defense. So we cannot use this strategy against the Time Rift Breaker bosses, or at least the Amplify. This is how what I noticed. So we're gonna have to be a little bit more creative when it comes to tanking the boss and dealing the damage. So when it comes to tanking the bosses, I made sure that all my marches had at least one defensive immortal that is in the lead that is tanking the boss. As you can see here, I'm using Bjorn on the lead here. This was a mistake. I was supposed to use Trajan instead of Hippolyta. Here I'm using Ragnar. Here I'm using Bjorn again. Here I fixed my mistake, and I'm using Trajan to tank out the Amplify boss. As for the skills, this is the first march that I used, and kinda I screwed up this attack because my Bjorn did not have equipment or boost level. So this one doesn't really count. This one what really counts, because I fixed my mistake here. I added some equipment for Bjorn and I upgraded his boost level. As for the skills, I'm using Sacrifice. Well, the main reason that I'm using Bjorn is his ultimate skill, because when he casts his ultimate skill, it lasts for 9 seconds and increases the damage dealt to the enemy team within the Scorched Earth by 20%. That means that Alex and Yushi will be able to deal 20% more damage to the boss while Bjorn's skill is active. And since he got a high energy regain, I believe it's gonna be active for most of the fight, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, as you can see in this fight, Alex dealt almost 114 million damage. That's not a bad damage for Yushitsuyon, considering that I don't have his exclusive artifact. So this is the first mark that I used. The second one is the fire one, but this was a mistake as well. I screwed a lot in the first day. I could have gotten a better rank if not for my bad placements and bad skills. I think I fixed it here. This was my highest attack that made me rank in the top 30. So I'm using Trajan to tank the boss, and it is so much easier considering I have Hippolyta, not allowing the boss to use any skills, using only normal attacks. And I'm using Adrenaline Rush plus Wind Rage to help Hippolyta, but it did not make that much difference because in another report I did not use Wind Rage, and Hippolyta's ultimate skill got cost. I think the difference was only one additional cost with Wind Rage. But anyway, I'm using Poison Thorn. This is the strongest mage skill that you can use versus a single target. And for Signed Duke, I'm using Anger, I'm using Onslaught, and Energy Burst. And in fact, Energy Burst did a huge difference when I removed it, because you need Signed Duke to cast her skill as much as possible, because the skill lasts only for 6 seconds. As for the damages, you can see that Empress Wu dealt a lot of damage, 77 million. Almost 70 from Signed Duke and almost 54 from Hippo here. This was all thanks to Trajan's buff as well and his ultimate skill. As for the last march, well, the last march was kind of surprise for me as well, which is which one? Yeah, this one here. This one here was kind of surprise. I have a better report than this. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, this one here. So in this march, I counted a lot on magical damage. This is why I'm using Ragnar alongside with Merlin and Cleo. As for all the reports, I think it's better to use Fire Dragon if you have a decent Fire Dragon. Otherwise, you can just use your strongest dragon, the dragon with the highest level of talent. So I'm using Ragnar to boost the magical damage by 30% for 6 seconds, and I'm using Adrenaline Rush to help keep this boost active for most of the fight, basically. I'm using William because of his exclusive artifact and his ultimate skill, of course, the 20% crit rate increase plus the 35% critical damage increase, along with the blessings, of course, weakness and sacrifice on Ragnar. And on Merlin, I'm using Rage, I'm using Concentration, and I'm using Poison Thorn. And if you take a look at this, Poison Thorn in this fight dealt more than 50 million damage alone, 23 million damage from Prophecy, and you can notice the crit rate in all the skills. This is 89% crit rate, Prophecy is 100% crit rate, and Poison Thorn, the main damage, is 83% crit rate. Well, Cleopatra dealt some damage, but she also received some damage. This is why she did not deal as much damage as Merlin. But anyway, I'm very satisfied with this march as a third march, and it dealt so much damage. So these are my 3 builds or 3 formations that I used in this round of Spider. This is the first one with Bjorn, Alex, Yushitsion. You can screenshot the skills if you would like, I don't mind. And Yushitsion, I know I'm going through the skills very fast, but I'm sorry, it's just out of habit. And for Hippo, I think this build was not bad, the Energy Burst. However, I prefer to use Energy Burst on Sign Duke for the next time. As you can see, the damage in this report was around 153. Yeah, it was 153 here. However, when I used Energy Burst on Sign Duke, you can see there's a huge difference of damage, 208 million in this report with Wind Rage, Adrenaline Rush on Hippolyta, Blessings on Trajan, and Sacrifice, Sign Duke, Energy Burst, and of course, Poison Thorn. I'm not sure why Poison Thorn dealt more damage on Merlin. Maybe it's because of Ragnar's magical damage boost. But anyway, I really like the idea of the marches that I used in the previous round. I'm very excited for the upcoming round. I think it's gonna be the weakness is gonna be Holy. The Venom is gonna be Holy, Lightning, and Fire. So I'm gonna keep using my Fire march, the march that I used in the previous round. For the Lightning, maybe I'll start using Jinkies. Maybe I'll bring back something else. I started to work on Harold one more time because of his physical defense decrease. And for light, maybe I'll start using Gilgamesh. I'm not sure. However, the people who are using Kublai are gonna be so happy for the upcoming boss. Anyway, this is everything for this video, guys. I'm very glad that I managed to rank 9th among all these people that are using Kublai. Maybe I could have gotten a better rank if I didn't screw up my first few attacks. This will be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have a wonderful day.